back to the second session of our segment on sextortion. In this segment, we're going to talk about revenge sextortion, and we're going to cover other aspects about corruption and sextortion, especially abuse by public officers. So let's get into it. So you're asking, after a recent breakup, my ex-partner is threatening to release intimate photos of me unless I reconcile with them. What legal protections exist for victims of revenge sextortion? Under Kenyan law, this is under Section 37 of the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, which makes it an offense to share or distribute intimate images of another person on an electronic or a computer network. So it will be under that. How effective? The law enforcement agencies have a power to do and conduct investigation, of course, with a court order under the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. So the court order will allow them to mirror the computer systems of the perpetrators, to get information from internet service providers like Safaricom, or even social networking platforms, if at all that content has been shared on their platforms, for that content to either be removed or suspended pending the hearing and determination of your case. Question 7. I received an anonymous email containing intimate photos of me taken through my webcam without my knowledge, demanding money to share these photos. What should I do under Kenyan law to address the violation of privacy? I'll answer this first and then the second one. So first of all, I see hacking, and hacking will be an unauthorized access to a computer network under the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. Again, this is a crime. Secondly, there's a wrongful distribution of intimate images under Section 37. And finally, there's an element of sextortion or extortion. And in that case, it will be under the Penal Code under Section 299. So you have 3 offenses that you can report to the police, and the police will conduct investigations. The second question, how can victims of sextortion secure their digital footprint to prevent further exploitation after an incident of sextortion? So I think here it is important to remember the data subject's right to ask for deletion of their data. So once you know the platforms that have this information about you or these images, you will serve them with a court order and ask them to delete. If they refuse to delete, you have a remedy under the Data Protection Act 2018, because you can give this complaint to the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner to help you with further steps. Question 8, a fellow university student is threatening to share intimate photos of me unless I help them with their assignment and exams. What legal actions can I take against this form of sextortion? Here we see an element of extortion that should be under the Penal Code, but also this question is asking on what can the education system do. I think it's important for education institutions to have a sexual harassment policy, not just to handle relationships between students and teaching faculty, but also students within themselves. It also shows that we need to do more as a society in terms of instilling values and principles, because these students are going to be in positions of power and we want them to be upright members of the society. So there's more to be done beyond laws. I think we need policies around this. Question 9. A public official has access to my personal information and is threatening to share my intimate photos unless I pay them or provide certain favors. How can I address this abuse of power legally, and what steps can I take to protect myself? So here is an element of corruption because there is an abuse of public office. While it can also be a sextortion claim, given that there is an abuse of power by a public official, I would say you can give a complaint to the Office of the Administrative Justice, or the Administrative Justice, also known as the Office of the Ombudsman, and they'll be able to assist you further. What role can international organizations play supporting Kenya's effort to combat sextortion, and whether we have any ongoing awareness sessions, either from the government or civil society, on sextortion. So first of all, international organizations can play a big role in funding initiatives that are aimed at reviewing or amending our laws, because as I started saying, we don't have explicit sextortion laws and policies in this country. So it will be important to invest in that. What is happening now is that members of parliament are asking for review of our laws, especially the Sexual Offences Act, the Penal Code, and all other laws on public officials, so that we can handle sextortion explicitly in our laws. I understand that Esther Passaris has brought a motion in Parliament on this, so there are ongoing efforts to have sextortion recognized under Kenyan laws. How does the rise of social media use and digital communication impact the prevalence of sextortion in Kenya, and what demographics are most at risk? I'll say that what social media platforms have done is they have provided a wider reach for sextortionists or for perpetrators. Because before, not all of us were on Facebook, not all of us were on WhatsApp or Twitter. So someone telling you, I'm going to share your photos on that platform, did not really scare you. But now you're looking at millions of users in Kenya alone, and more other millions of users out of the world, across the world, will view your photos, your intimate images. So it has given a wider platform for abuse. And I think the demographics that are most at risk will be the young people, but this does not in any way mean that people who are more advanced in age cannot be victims of sextortion. In summary, don't feel threatened. The laws, although not explicitly handling sextortion, have elements of extortion that can be used to drive these offenses. The police have investigative powers under the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act that they can use with the court order and due process, so that they can nab the perpetrators. Internet service providers and social networking platforms have a responsibility to protect their users and to comply with law enforcement agencies to bring an end to sextortion in Kenya. Thank you.